Hey there, A's Day fans. Welcome to our Friday edition of our show. I'm your host, Joe Grotto. Once again, appreciate each and every one of you starting your weekend by listening to what we have to say about the current state of athletics baseball. Today is Friday, April 11th, and we will be breaking down what went down between the Padres and the A's during their 3-game series, as well as what to look ahead as the A's homestand continues at Sutter Health Park, as the Mets are next up to come to Sacramento. We're excited to talk about all of the details of what went down, what's to come. So without further ado, let's jump right into it after the opening music. Holy Toledo, the green and gold are back in the full swing of things.
Soundstripe.
We just want to give you a reminder of where you can catch everything in terms of our content. So to shout out our social media accounts on Instagram, you can find us at A's Day Baseball Podcast, on X, formerly known as Twitter, at A's Day Baseball. Our YouTube channel for all our video content, be sure to check us out at A's Day Podcast. And to become an official subscriber of A's Day, we appreciate each and every one of you. Check out our Patreon site, patreon.com/A's Day for just $2 a month. You'll be entered to win into monthly A's Day t-shirt giveaways, A's autograph memorabilia, future A's game ticket giveaways, and so much more as we are able to grow this platform together. And without further ado, let's jump in as the A's welcomed in the San Diego Padres earlier this week to Sutter Health Park. Game 1 was the battle of the aces between Michael King and Luis Severino. Kind of had that feeling of, here we go again. Another hot start for the visiting team. After recording the first out of the inning, the A's were in the sauce as Luis Arias doubled, followed up by a Manny Machado RBI double, and then Jake Cronenworth followed up with a 2-run home run of his own. Just when you thought the A's were going to get through the woods without having a big first, they're down 3-0 before you can blink right away. Once again, with one out, the rally was onto the third inning. Arias with a single. Manny Machado had an RBI double to make it now 4-0. The A's would finally answer back on a solo home run with a little 2-out rally magic of their own. A solo home run for Tyler Soderstrom, his 5th of the year. Now it's 4-1 Padres. The Sody Pop seemed to wake up the offense as the 4th inning rally was on. Miguel Andujar led off with an infield single, followed by Jacob Wilson, who continued his impressive hitting streak. A 1-out flyout by Urshela was followed up by a Max Muncy RBI double and then an RBI single from Lawrence Butler. Now it's 4-3 Padres. A's are fighting back. At this juncture, they have first and third on base with 1 out. They were left stranded, unfortunately, following a Brent Rooker strikeout and a line out to second base by Tyler Soderstrom. The score would remain 4-3 until Fernando Tatis Jr. unloaded a no-doubter massive blast to left field for a solo home run, 406 feet to left, now 5-3 Padres. Soderstrom adding another multi-home run game on his impressive campaign early here in 2025 as he makes it 5-4. And with his 6th home run of the year, he tied himself as the major league leader in home runs with Aaron Judge with 6 on the year. Very impressive from the young first baseman. Perdomo and Suarez would lock it down from there for the Padres. Scoreless in the back end. 5-4, game 1 is your final. So just the main thought coming from this game is Tyler Soderstrom. Talk about taking an opportunity by the reins and running with it to another multi-home run game. He's got 6 on the year. He's tied at this point as the major league leader in home runs with Aaron Judge. Always good company to be in that department for sure. It's been very impressive. I do think he's just hitting with more conviction and attacking his pitch in his zone. So it's been impressive, and glad to see things are getting off on a hot start for him. He definitely needed that. You can see he's swinging with confidence. He's sticking more with his approach, working counts. He's not chasing as much as he had during his first initial steps up in the big league. So definitely love seeing that progression. Luis Severino, he battled again. He went 7. He did give up 5 runs. Didn't walk a hitter, and 3 strikeouts were recorded. Kind of a mixed bag here. It's just tough to really gauge because he looked really good up in Seattle. Then a couple tough starts back in Sacramento. You wonder if the home ballpark factors into that in any equation. He does seem to be a little bit more elevated in the zone in Sacramento, which has led to harder contact all in all. So I do think he has done an impressive job keeping the A's in games, and that's what you do as an ace. Just looking for him to maybe take that next step and, lead this team in terms of, putting up more zeros, maybe, putting up a quality start in his next couple starts or whatnot. But he has battled, and he's battled against the league best. I know, Michael King, he's such a tough customer, and former Yankee teammates going at it too as well. So excited to, see that pitching matchup develop. And all in all, I think the A's, they really battled here, definitely showing a lot more fight at home. It was definitely good to see as compared to it looking like it could have been another runaway, especially with a quick 3 runs in the first. But they really settled out. This is your pure definition of an early season measuring stick series, just to kind of see where the franchise is at. And so far, disappointing to lose 5-4, but they had every opportunity to win that game and, to finally secure that first win at home in front of the Sacramento faithful. So let's see what would happen in Game 2 if the A's could finally go out there and win their first game calling Sacramento home. Game 2 was another good pitching matchup with right-handed pitcher Dylan Cease, formerly of the Chicago White Sox, going up against left-handed pitcher Jeffrey Springs. Well, the Padres started up and running with a little 2-out rally of their own, hot out of the gate again. Machado would hit a solo home run to make it 1-0. Bogarts would single, RBI double from Gurriel, walk to Cronenworth, and a third run would score on a throwing error. A's said, hold on, not so fast, not again. Looking up at another 3-0 deficit before this game could get out of hand. How about this for an answer? A's have a 6-run outburst in the bottom of the first to make it 6-3 on the likes of a 2-run double from J.J. Bleday, an RBI single from Miguel Andujar, a 2-run double from Gio Urshela, and an RBI single from Max Muncy. Padres did get one back in the second on a Xander Bogaerts sacrifice fly, now chipping in, making it a 6-4 game in the second. A's kept getting to Cease in the third as Jacob Wilson, his hot hitting continued as he had brought in 2 runs on a single to left, and then Gio Urshela followed up with another RBI double. Now it is 9-4 A's. Cease would only last 4. He went 4 innings, 9 hits, 9 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, one of his worst professional starts. Springs would end up going through 6 innings pitched, 7 hits allowed, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks. Bleday went on in the 7th to keep the home run streak alive, the franchise record, to make it 10-4 A's, which was the final in Game 2. So a much better outcome for the A's here. A's win their first game at home in 2025, their first game in Sutter Health Park, 10-4. Springs, he really bared down here. He only allowed 1 run after the 3-0 first, although one of those runs in the first was unearned that scored on the throwing error. But nevertheless, they needed this. They needed a type of start to give confidence in the rotation that, not every time out there is just going to be an offensive outburst, a bloodbath, and have to chase runs the whole game. So I think Springs did a really good job here. Not by any means the prettiest performance, but it did more than enough. 6 innings, 3 earned, quality start for sure. And I do think the A's offense is the story in this one. J.J. Bleday, Hadn't heard much from him in terms of these opening series previews and recaps. Feel like he's still trying to find his footing, still trying to find his way. Well, I think he upgraded to the Torpedo family with his bats, and it's starting to show and translate onto the field. Getting that new lumber, he slugged a 2-run double in this one and followed up with a solo home run in the 7th. Look, very excited to see if he can get started in the middle of that order. Can really continue to make this lineup deeper and deeper. That was a very impressive 6-run first, and that's what teams have been doing to them, honestly, is having that outburst. And it hasn't been 6 runs, but, you've been seeing, 3 runs in the first, 4 runs in the first. That really sets the tone for a team. And if you don't really have an answer from that early, the other team is just going to go to work and really continue to build off the momentum. So I love the fight from the A's. Like I said, even in that Game 1 loss, I thought they had good fight, but they really showed it here. It was almost looked like enough is enough. And it was really impressive, really shocking that they smashed Cease. I know Cease has had some success against the A's in the past. They weren't having it today. So congrats, A's at this point. First win in Sutter Health, first in Sacramento. Hopefully it is the first of many more to come. At this point, the series is tied 1-1, 1 apiece. And Game 3 would be the rubber match, a day game, which I believe was a 12:35 start time, with Randy Vasquez going up against Osvaldo Bido for Game 3 at Sutter Health. Pitching duel really set the tone here, as the A's actually jumped out to the lead on a shallow sacrifice fly by Luis Urias in the third. Langoliers was in the second inning. Langoliers was originally ruled out at the plate, but upon further review, it looked like he did get in there, got under the tag, 1-0 A's in the second. After the second, the Padres would answer right back. They led off the next inning with 2 infield Padres singles, and Bido was very close to getting out of trouble there, still keeping the game at bay at 1-0. Oscar Gonzalez came through with a 2-run single to tie the game with a single to center field in the third. Would remain that way until the 5th. A little fundamentals from the Padres, a little fundamental baseball hitting. A leadoff double, then Machado flew out to right field, moving the runner to third base. Gavin Sheets would bring home that run with a sacrifice fly. Now it is 2-1 in the 5th. Both starting pitchers really excelled in this one. Randy Vasquez went 5 innings, 1 hit allowed, 1 run, 3 walks, 1 K. Bido was excellent himself, too, as well. A little bit more traffic, but definitely pitched with command and didn't issue any free passes. 5 innings pitched, 9 hits allowed, 2 earned, no walks, 5 Ks. Turned into the battle of the bullpens. From there, they kept trading 0 after 0s the rest of the way. And then it culminated with a quick 7-pitch inning by Robert Suarez, closer of the Padres, to nail down his second save of the series. I believe it was his 5th of the year. 2-1, Padres win, and they win 2 out of 3 against your Athletics. So I guess it kind of squelched the theory a little bit that every game is going to be a slugfest. Finally had a pitcher's duel in the Sacramento ballpark of Sutter Health. And Bido was solid again. I mean, both arms it was, like I said, a pitcher's duel. Both arms really gave their team a very strong chance to win this game and give their opportunity for the offense to get going. But they just both pitched so well, so they didn't have an opportunity to do that. Offense went dormant in this one, and sometimes you just tip your cap to good pitching. Bullpen was nails, so I think that was a good sign coming out of this series. I do think you're starting to see some arms pitching with more confidence. Justin Sterner on the A's, he just seems to get out after out. Tyler Ferguson seems to be finding his footing. Noah Murdoch, what a story. Rule 5 draft pick, really emerging as a high-leverage reliability there. So definitely a lot of good options, a lot of good to come out of this series for sure. And you want to win the series, of course. But I do think if we're talking measuring stick here, these are just 2 franchises that are currently in 2 different spots in terms of their development. The Padres are probably further ahead, but the A's they're up and coming, and they really held their own in this series. I mean, a hit here, hit there. They lose 2 decisions by 1 run. 2-3 hits here. They could end up sweeping the series or even at least winning the series. So I do think they really held in, and we, coming into this week, knew it was going to be a tough homestand with the Padres to kick off things. And then after the off day yesterday on Thursday, then we'd be welcoming the next opponent, who we are going to jump into after we share a quick ad from our partner, visit Mesa. We're very thankful for the opportunity that we had to go down to spring training to be able to cover the A's up close and personal, as well as some hot spots around City Limitless. Before we get into who's up next on the docket, just want to thank each and every one of you for listening in. If you enjoyed the series against the Padres, share your thoughts, or if there's anything we were missing, feel free to share whatever's on your mind too as well. But we're over and done with. Padres, get on out of town. Best of luck the rest of the way. That was a very entertaining series, one of the more entertaining series of the early campaign so far. But before we continue on, let's be sure to thank Visit Mesa for their continued support of A's Day, and then we will get into our series preview. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right after this. All right. Welcome to Mesa, Arizona, a destination for every season. Experience a destination where adventure, culture, and culinary experiences are limitless. As the gateway to the stunning Sonoran Desert and Tonto National Forest, Mesa invites you to explore its scenic waterways, kayak through winding canyons, or paddleboard along the Salt River. For a one-of-a-kind desert adventure, ride the waves at Revel Surf at Cannon Beach, the country's first surf park of its kind. Downtown Mesa is a vibrant hub, home to the Mesa Arts Center, public art, award-winning breweries, and local shops. Food lovers can explore the Fresh Foodie Trail and the diverse flavors of Mesa's Asian District. Sports fans can experience MLB spring training with the Chicago Cubs and the Athletics, or visit one of North America's largest youth sports complexes. As the world's first autism-certified city, Mesa is dedicated to accessibility and inclusivity for all visitors. Mesa truly is city limitless. Be sure to get down there ASAP for the adventure of a lifetime. You'll be glad you did. All right. And with that, like I said, Padres over, done with. Series is over. On to the next one. Let's talk about who's coming into town next. And, of course, this tough measuring stick week welcomes in the New York Mets, who were coming off of winning 2 out of 3 against the Miami Marlins. And last year went on that deep postseason run, OMG, until they were ousted by those Los Angeles Dodgers, who ended up winning the World Series. So the Mets are back. They've added some impressive pieces and are looking to make another run. But we are only 12 or 13 games in, depending on who you are speaking with. The Mets are only 12 games in as compared to the A's having 13 games under their belt. The Mets are 8-4 so far and led by manager Carlos Mendoza. So far in the year, they haven't hit a whole lot. They have a .210 team batting average, which is 23rd in Major League Baseball. They've hit 9 home runs, which is 20th in baseball. 45 runs scored, which is 18th. On the flip side, they have been absolutely throwing the pill. Pitching has been leading this team to the successful early start. They have a 2.10 team ERA, which is first in baseball. They have 118 strikeouts as a staff, which is 6th. And they have walked 45 batters, which is 15th, right at league average. So they certainly live with the high K rate, high walk percentage. There should be some traffic, but they seem to make the pitches and bear down when they really need to. It's been all about pitching. Even though that seemed to be the Achilles heel for this team, at least on paper coming into the year, there was a lot of concerns that the starting pitching depth was not going to be there, and their ace being Clay Holmes, who was a closer and setup man in the last few years with the Yankees. A lot of confusion, but so far it has been so good. The offense hasn't really gotten going yet, and I'm not going to speak too much to that because I don't want to be the jinx that sees the Mets start blasting balls out of a stadium that has been considered a launching pad. 3 Mets hitters to watch. Of course, the long Met Pete Alonso, first baseman, hits for a monstrous power. You have shortstop Francisco Lindor and the $800 million man, right fielder Juan Soto, who's considered a generational talent, one of the best hitters we have seen. Those 3, well, let's hope they don't get it going till next week because they have the opportunity to create such synergy with their offensive performance. It's been a slow start for the lineup so far, but nevertheless, those are 3 guys to watch that, could put up some numbers over the weekend if the A's don't pitch carefully. So let's get into the pitching matchups. Tonight, Game 1, which is scheduled for a 7:05 start. You have right-handed pitcher Griffin Canning versus left-handed pitcher J.P. Sears. Game 2 and Game 3, those are both going to be day games. 1:05 first pitch tomorrow. Saturday will be David Peterson, left-handed pitcher, versus, says to be determined at the moment, but more than likely it may be the call-up of JT Ginn, so stay tuned for that. We'll be sure to stay on top of that on our social media and provide any update surrounding those rumors. But most likely that is going to be in that slot. It would have been Joey Estes, but he recently was demoted to AAA to kind of work on some things, tweak some mechanics so that fastball velocity can tweak up. And also be able to work on getting back to pitching with more of that command and conviction that he had shown so much promise. So that is most likely who's going to be in that Game 2 position. In Game 3, the getaway day, it is a 1:05 start day as well. This is the battle of the aces, Kodai Senga versus Luis Severino. So a little bit about Griffin Canning. He offers a 4-pitch mix with his slider, fastball, changeup, and cutter. He's a heavy ground ball pitcher. That seems to be the theme of this team. We'll get into that at the end. He has a 60% ground ball rate, which is 85th in all in baseball, according to Baseball Savant. He does allow a high hard hit percentage, though, so he does get hit. Gives up some loud contact from time to time. 56% hard hit percentage, which is the 8th lowest percentile in all of baseball. His fastball average is 93.3 miles per hour, so plenty enough as long as he is locating. The former Angel, that is where he made his bread and butter. So definitely some history between him and the A's over the last few years. Just some names of note, some good history for the A's side. Brent Rooker is 3 for 9 with a home run and a double off of him. Langoliers 1 for 7, but he did hit a home run, so I wanted to include him. Lawrence Butler is 2 for 5 lifetime against him with a triple. And Max Schumann in limited opportunities, 2 for 2, so Griffin Canning has not gotten him out. Wonder if you'll see him tonight or maybe in a pinch hitting role to continue that positive history. He is known to have a lively arm. He will lose command from time to time. So once he starts losing that command a little bit and floating some of those pitches in very hitter-friendly zones, that's when hitting opportunities can really open up. If his slider isn't working, he's going to be in for a long day. He does rely on that slider to get back into the zone, especially if he's falling behind an account. So hitters better be ready to hit, because I do think this could be a good night if you are in the green and gold in the box. Game 2 starter David Peterson offers a 5-pitch mix. He has a sinker, changeup, fastball, slider, curveball. He's another ground ball pitcher, 53.8%, which is 75th according to Baseball Savant in all of MLB percentile. His expected ERA of 5.22 so far in the year is much higher than his actual 2.53. So you wonder if he's had some good defense behind him, because looking at the whip, looking at some of his metrics, he does allow a lot of traffic on the bases, especially early on, but has made some big pitches to get out of some situations. So you wonder if the A's will be able to capitalize that during a hot day or a day game. During the peak of the sun. I don't know what the temperature is going to be like, but I know it is starting to warm up out here. So yeah, I think it could be favorable for another A's offensive outburst. He is known for his elite extension with a unique slider characteristic traits, so that'll make him tough to square up, and he's really tough on lefties because he really hides it well until the last few moments it's arriving at the plate. So if you're a lefty, it might be a struggle, but I do expect right-handed hitters to have quite a bit of success against Peterson on Saturday. And Sunday, he's going to be the toughest customer. Of course, Mets ace Kodai Senga. Lots of red on Baseball Savant, which is a great thing. That means he's leading one of the standards in baseball. Offers a 6-pitch mix, fastball, forkball, cutter, sweeper, slider, and curveball. He does average 94 on his fastball this year. He has hit 100 miles an hour. He's another ground ball pitcher, works down in the zone, knees down, 62.5%, which is 89th percentile in all of MLB. He does a good job avoiding high barrel percentage. He does have a high 30.8% K rate. To me, this is the toughest matchup. That cutter he offers makes life very tough on left-handed hitters. Breaks up and in on their hands, can't really get going or offer any extension. Some positive history here. Langoliers is 1 for 2 off of him with a home run, so would love to see him do that again. And that is a little bit of overview of what we can expect from Mets pitching over the weekend. Again, Friday tonight is going to be 7:05 start. Saturday and Sunday will both be 1:05 first pitch, all up in Sacramento at Sutter Health Park. So looking forward to see how these A's hitters battle up against the 3 probable projected starters. In 2024, we're just going to cover the series history between these two teams. The A's actually won 2 out of 3 in New York. It was a series from August 13th to August 15th. The A's won Game 1 9-4, lost Game 2 9-1, and then won a thriller, a nail-biter in Game 3 to win the series by a score of 7-6. Would love to see if they could do that again. Right before we get on out of here, we're going to make a couple of predictions, and then that will be that. Home run prediction, we got the last one incorrect. We were believing in Seth Brown. He did have limited opportunities, so I guess that was the less opportunities, the less likely the outcome is going to become true. But nevertheless, we know that Seth Brown's going to get it going a little bit. Just wasn't his series against the Padres, but nevertheless, we are going to make our prediction for their series against the Mets with guys that are probable to throw a lot of strikes, and especially some favorable matchups. I think for right-handed hitters, we're predicting Brent Rooker will hit a home run this weekend. I think he'll do it tomorrow, Saturday, against David Peterson. But hey, he might have a couple home runs, and he's kind of been in between his time in the last few games. Do think he's going to make some minor adjustments and really start getting it going. So Brent Rooker, looking forward to seeing you mash at least a home run this weekend, maybe some more. Best of luck to you. Now let's make our series prediction. So last series we were unfortunately correct. We predicted that the Padres would win 2 out of 3, and it was by the slimmest of margins, as they had 2 1-1 victories, which is when championship teams do stand out. So hats off to them for getting the job done, but the A's were right there hanging in there. This is another measuring stick series, and I just think they just got to get things going at home. I like how the A's lineup matches up with this Mets pitching staff. Like I said, I think Senga will be tough, but I do think they're going to have a lot of opportunities against Canning and Peterson. They just got to come through and with runners in scoring position at a more consistent rate and not try to do too much. And with that, I am going to predict that the A's will win this series and repeat their 2024 performance. I think they'll win 2 out of 3. I think they'll win tonight 9-5. They'll win tomorrow 7-3. But I do think they'll lose a nail-biter 4-3 on Sunday in the Battle of the Aces. So those are our thoughts. We hope you are able to enjoy all the A's baseball throughout this weekend. And with that, that is the close of another edition of A's Day. Today, we covered what went down between the Padres and the A's earlier in the week, and then we provided a preview of what to expect and some things to look out for as the A's welcome in the New York Mets to kick off another 3-game series at Sutter Health Park. We appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in on a weekly basis. Be sure again to check us out on our socials, on Instagram at A's Day Baseball Podcast, on X, formerly known as Twitter, at A's Day Baseball, on our YouTube channel at A's Day Podcast, where we normally will have video editions of our episodes. Unfortunately, we will only be audio today. Back to video and audio on Monday as usual. And to be an official subscriber with us on our Patreon site, check us out, patreon.com/A's Day. For just $2 a month, you'll be entered to win monthly A's Day t-shirt giveaways, autographed A's memorabilia, A's ticket giveaways, and so much more as we are able to grow this platform together. Once again, I'm your host, Joe Grotto. Thank you for spending part of your Friday with us. I'm going to let you get on out of here and enjoy some A's baseball. Let's hear it for the green and gold. Hope all is well. Enjoy your weekend. We'll be back behind the mic to talk about what all went down this weekend on Monday. Have a good weekend. Holy Toledo. Let's go A's.
Soundstripe.
Let's go A's. Come on out and beat those Mets.